Today I will be reviewing electric hand massagers. I've been curious about this type of massager for a while now. They seem to be all over the internet, all over Amazon. These things that look like a glove, like a box glove, like a metal glove that you put your hand in. And just wondering, do these things actually work? And what is it good for? I decided to get 3 different brands of these electric hand massagers. I bought one that costs less than $40, one that costs less than $100 but more than $40, and then I bought one that's over $100 just to compare their functions, just to see which one is better and if any of them are actually worth the price. And the first one that I tested is the most expensive one. It is the Lunix LX3 cordless electric hand massager. The price is $116.97. The key features are heat option, 6 levels of intensity, 15-minute session, 6 different programs, 2 different vibration modes, and a shut-off protection. Let's talk about our pros and cons. Pros. This is a large device that covers most hand sizes and also covers a good part of your wrist. There's a mode that targets mostly the wrist, and there's a mode that targets mostly the fingers. I like that because if you have a lot of pain in one part of your hand, you probably don't want that part of your hand massaged too hard. The compression is probably good for swelling, but if the hand is inflamed, it'll probably be too sensitive for the compression. The cons: there's a lot of compression, even the lowest intensity. If you have any skin sensitivity, or if you have part of the hand that cannot tolerate a lot of compression, this is probably not for you. This is a lot of general compression. It does not target any muscle, tendon, or ligaments, and since it's general compression and vibration, it does very little for scar mobilization. This is a point that applies to most of these electric hand massagers. Other cons: this one costs over $100. It's quite pricey. Do the pros outweigh the cons? I think this device is designed for arthritic pain relief. If I consider this condition only, then yes. If you don't have arthritis hand pain, then no. If you don't have symptoms associated with arthritic hand pain, which includes frequent swelling and stiffness, you don't need this amount of general compression that this thing produces. Now, who should use this device? People with chronic arthritic hand pain. I think it's great for people with chronic arthritic hand pain. It loosens up the hand and pumps away the swelling. It's really good for this one condition. For everything else, not so much. Next, we're going to talk about Xllent 2023 new hand massager with compression and heating for arthritis. The price is $35.88. This is actually the cheapest of the 3. Key features include massage, airbag wrapping, 5-stage massage, multi-frequency vibration, constant temperature heat compress. These features are very similar to the other electric hand massagers. Let's talk about pros and cons. Pros: same as Lunix in terms of the compression. The first intensity is more gentle than the Lunix. It is also very cheap compared to the other ones. It's very reasonable, less than $40. It has the same pros as the Lunix. It's good compression. It does have modes that alternate between the fingers and the wrist. Now the cons: it is a little smaller than the Lunix, and therefore it covers less surface area. It is probably not good for people with a bigger hand. It does not get as much wrist coverage as the Lunix. With Lunix, you can really feel almost your entire wrist getting massaged. With this one, only a small part of the wrist. Do the pros outweigh the cons? If you don't have a large hand, and if you have hand arthritis pain, then yes, it's also very good for the price. If you have a big hand, or if you don't have hand arthritis pain, this is probably not for you. CINCOM hand massager. The price is $71.08. Key features: there's 2 working modes, 3 levels of pressure intensities, 2 levels of heating temperature, low and high, 2 airbags and 4 massage heads, wireless and rechargeable, unique design with 2 thumb holes, 15-minute auto shut-off function. Let's talk about pros and cons. Pros: it has some compression for the palm and back of the hand. There's only 2 modes, so the benefit is that you'll remember which one does what. The cons: it doesn't cover the whole hand. It has the thumb hole, which means your thumb will never get massaged. Also, it's small, even smaller than Xllent. With the thumb hole, it doesn't cover the thumb even if you have a small hand. It mostly covers the palm area. It doesn't massage the thumb or the wrist at all. It also doesn't get the tips of the fingers. If you have a bigger hand, less of your fingers will be covered and none of your wrist will be covered. Do the pros outweigh the cons? Considering this device doesn't really cover all the fingers, I would say no, the pros don't outweigh the cons for this. This is only usable if you have hand arthritis in the center of your hand. However, most arthritis patients suffer pain in their fingers. So if you don't cover the fingers, it kind of defeats the purpose of this type of massager. They do market this device for carpal tunnel syndrome. I don't think it's that good for carpal tunnel syndrome. Who should use this device? This device does massage the center of your hand. For people with smaller hands, it does cover most of your fingers except the thumb. If your hand arthritis is exactly in the middle of your hand, this could work. But if you have pain in the thumb or in the tips of your fingers or the wrist, this is not good enough. Also, this is almost double the price of Xllent and it covers less surface areas. I'll say overall, this is the worst of the 3. All 3 of these hand massagers are compression based, which means it's good for relaxing the hand and good for swelling. It is not for targeting any specific area of the hand like specific fingers, specific tendons, ligaments, or scars. It is a general compression. For the Lunix, because it is big enough, it can alternate massaging the fingers, the palm, and the wrist very well. For the Xllent, it is a little smaller, but also divides massaging areas into 3 areas like the Lunix. The CINCOM is too small, so it just alternates between the palm and the fingers. All 3 are good for hand arthritis, some better than the others. CINCOM is so small that if your affected area is at the wrist, thumb, or tips of your fingers, it won't help you at all in those areas. If I have to rank these 3 devices, I will rank Lunix at the top, Xllent in the middle, and CINCOM the last.